Project 3 Working with Wood and Bamboo. Question answers from Grade 8, Subject Vocational Education, Book Kaushal Bodh. Page 66 Record of the visit to the Carpenter's workshop. Name of the carpenter Mr. NCERT Hindi tutor. So friends, you can write carpenter's name here. Number of persons employed in the workshop, if applicable, 4 persons, including 2 assistants and 1 apprentice. Qualification of the carpenter and other persons in the workshop. Mr. NCERT Hindi tutor, trained carpenter with a diploma in carpentry and woodcraft. Assistants, skilled in cutting, polishing and assembling wooden furniture. Apprentice, learner under training to use tools and make small wooden items. Table 3.1 Record of details about the carpenter's work. First, question: what kind of carpentry work is done in the workshop? Observation: the workshop mainly makes furniture such as tables, chairs, cupboards and window frames. They also repair old wooden furniture and doors. Second, what types of wood are used to make different products? Observation: they use teak, mango and babul wood for heavy furniture and pine and deodar for lightweight items. Plywood and MDF are also used for shelves and partitions. Third, how do you decide the type of wood to use for a particular purpose? Observation: the carpenter chooses hardwood for strength and durability and softwood or plywood for lightweight and less expensive products. The choice depends on the purpose, cost and design. Fourth, what tools and machines do you use to make products? Observation: handsaw, hammer, chisel, plane, measuring tape, power drill, sanding machine and circular saw are commonly used. Fifth, what are the basic techniques used to make products from wood? For example, measurement, drawing a design on wood, cutting and joining. Observation: the process starts with measuring and marking the design on wood, then cutting with a saw, joining with nails or glue, sanding for smoothness and applying varnish or paint for finishing. Sixth, what safety precautions do you take while working? Observation: workers wear masks and goggles, handle sharp tools carefully, keep the workplace clean and avoid touching electrical tools with wet hands. Page 69. Question 1. Which object did you select? Answer: I selected a wooden school bench to observe and study its design and joints. Second, what is it made of? For example, wood, bamboo, etc. Answer: the bench is made of hardwood for the seat and backrest and a metal frame for support. The wooden parts are fixed to the frame using nuts and bolts. Page 72. Question 1. Were you able to measure and cut the material accurately? If not, what would you do differently next time? Answer: I measured and cut the material quite accurately, but one edge was slightly uneven. Next time, I will double check the measurements before cutting and use a clamp to hold the material firmly in place. Question 2. How did you join the parts? Any difficulty in joining them? What would you do differently next time? Answer: I joined the parts using glue and small nails. Initially, it was difficult to align the edges properly. Next time, I will mark the joining points more clearly and use clamps while the glue dries to get a better fit. Question 3. Were you able to recreate your sketch in 3 dimension, 3D? Answer: yes. I was able to make a small 3D model similar to my sketch. The proportions were mostly correct, though some corners were not perfectly aligned. I will improve my cutting precision next time. Question 4. Show your model to your peers. What feedback did you get? Answer: my peers appreciated the design and said it looked neat and well finished. They suggested adding a coat of paint or varnish to make it more attractive and durable. Page 75. Question 1. Which object are you going to make? Answer: I decided to make a wooden mobile phone stand for keeping my phone upright on my study table. So friends, you have to draw this here. Question 3. Write down the process you followed in making your object. Which tools did you use to make your object? Answer. First, I drew a simple sketch of the phone stand and marked the measurements on a piece of soft wood. Then I cut the wood using a hand saw and smoothed the edges with sandpaper. I joined the two parts, the base and the back support, using glue and small nails. After assembling, I applied varnish for a shiny finish. The tools I used were a measuring tape, pencil, saw, hammer, sandpaper, and paint brush. Question 4. Did you face any difficulties while making it, and how did you overcome them? Answer. Yes. Cutting the wood in a straight line was a little difficult at first. I overcame this by fixing the wood firmly in a bench vise and using a guideline to keep my cut straight. I also took help from my teacher to handle the saw safely. Question 5. What did you do to make the product look attractive? Answer. I smoothed the surface properly with sandpaper and applied a coat of brown varnish for shine. Later, I decorated it by painting small patterns on the sides using acrylic colors. Page 79, question 1. Which object are you going to make? Answer. I decided to make a bamboo pen stand for my study table to hold pens and pencils neatly. So friends, you have to draw this sketch here. Question 3. Write down the process you followed in making your object. Which tools did you use to make your object? Answer. First, I selected a hollow piece of bamboo and cut it to a height of about 10 cm using a hacksaw. I smoothed the top and outer surface using sandpaper. Then, I made a small round wooden base and joined it to the bamboo piece using glue and small nails. Finally, I applied varnish for a glossy finish. The tools I used were a measuring tape, hacksaw, file, hammer, sandpaper, and paint brush. Question 4. Did you face any difficulties, and how did you overcome them? Answer. Yes. It was difficult to cut the bamboo evenly because it was round and rolled while cutting. I overcame this by fixing it tightly in a bench vise before cutting. I also used slow and steady strokes to prevent cracks in the bamboo. Question 5. What did you do to make the product look attractive? Answer. I polished the bamboo with varnish and decorated it with colorful jute thread around the top and bottom edges. I also drew small designs with paint markers to give it a natural artistic look. Table 3.4. Record of repair and maintenance work. Repair task. The wooden top of a school bench. Was it fixed properly? Yes. How? Screws were tightened. Does it feel strong? Yes. Any final improvements needed? Smoothen the edges with sandpaper. Next, broken classroom cupboard door. Was it fixed properly? Yes. How? Hinges were replaced and screws tightened. Does it feel strong? Yes. Any final improvements needed? Apply a coat of paint for better finish. Next, loose leg of a wooden chair. Was it fixed properly? Yes. How? Added nails and wood glue for strong support. Does it feel strong? Yes. Any final improvements needed? Polish the chair for shine. Next, cracked wooden notice board frame. Was it fixed properly? Yes. How? Used glue and small nails to join the cracks. Does it feel strong? Yes. Any final improvements needed? Repaint the frame edges. Next, rough surface of the teacher's desk. Was it fixed properly? Yes. How? Sanded the top surface and applied varnish. Does it feel strong? Yes. Any final improvements needed? Add an extra layer of polish for protection. Next, what did I learn from others? Question 1. Name 3 things you learned from the carpenter, experts, teachers during the project. Answer. I learned how to hold and use tools like a saw and hammer safely. Next, I learned to measure and mark wood accurately before cutting. I learned how sanding and varnishing give a smooth and shiny finish to wood. Question 2. What was the most difficult step in making your product? How did speaking to others, example peers, teachers, experts, family, community members, etc. help? Answer. The most difficult step was joining the wooden parts at the correct angle without gaps. Talking to my teacher and the carpenter helped me understand how to use clamps for proper alignment. My peers also suggested using less glue and giving it enough drying time for a better finish. Next, think and answer. Question 1. Did you enjoy doing this project? Answer. Yes, I really enjoyed doing this project. It was fun and exciting to work with real tools and materials like wood and bamboo. I liked learning how to cut, join and polish wood safely while creating something useful with my own hands. Question 2. What did you like and what would you do differently next time? Answer. I liked designing and making small products such as the phone stand and bamboo pen holder. It was interesting to see how a simple piece of wood could be turned into a finished product. Next time, I would plan my measurements more carefully and try to make a slightly bigger and more creative product, such as a small wooden shelf or nameplate. Question 3. Wood has been a part of human civilization and part of the life of humans. It is present in almost every moment and every step of human life. Find out whether it is mentioned in literature and scriptures. Quote the words that talk of wood and provide translation if needed. Answer. Yes, wood has been mentioned in many ancient texts and scriptures. For example, in the Atharva Veda it is written, Yat te kishti prati tanvate, Yat tva prithvi updadhati, Yat te prithvi paryati, Tat sarvam tava maya. Atharva Veda 12.1.35. Meaning, O earth, whatever we take from you, trees, food or any natural resource, may it regenerate quickly and never harm your balance. This verse shows the respect our ancestors had for wood and other natural materials, reminding us to use them wisely and with gratitude. Question 4. Some examples of jobs related to your work are carpentry, interior design, etc. What other jobs are related to the project? Look around, speak to people and write your answer. Answer. Other jobs related to this project include furniture designer, maker, who designs and builds furniture using wood or bamboo, woodcraft artist, toy maker, who creates decorative or traditional wooden toys and art pieces, architect or civil engineer, who uses wood for building and interior structures, forestry expert, environmentalist, who studies sustainable wood use and tree conservation, restoration worker, antique furniture repairer, who repairs and preserves old wooden items. So friends, we have completed all the question answers. From project 3, working with wood and bamboo, you can switch the audio language to Hindi, Punjabi, Tamil and Telugu or any other languages for better understanding. We have already studied the notes and summary of this chapter. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like, hype the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel for more such videos. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.